Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I finally have an update for you guys on the documentary on K&K Film, and I know that I have been like notoriously terrible at providing like status updates on the film. It's just that I work so much and I literally work every single day on it. So it's sort of like a full-time job, and it's like you don't provide updates about like what you do in your full-time job. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's just weird and it's not really necessary or relevant for anybody to hear about, nothing that exciting. But I can finally give you guys some more information. So we are going to be traveling again. I have two more interviews I need to do in one state. So I'm going to be traveling in about a week or so. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going or who I'm going to be interviewing, but these are pretty key interviews to the documentary. So I'm super pumped and excited to get those done. And then we have to do one more trip to Michigan to follow up interviews with everybody, but also to film B-roll and to get drone footage. So we had a drone, and as you guys know, I think I told you this from the last trip. We brought our drone with us. We were getting drone footage, and then we took the drone to fly over a certain lake, and there must have been some kind of like electronic interference or some electronic barrier or something set up because it was the drone was flying fine, and then it got to a certain area over the lake and it stopped dead in the air and just dropped down into the water. I've never seen anything like that before. And there was this couple that was like out on a boat on the lake, and they paddled over and they're like, "Oh, we'll see if we can find it." They looked and couldn't find it. So we basically lost that drone. So we have to purchase a new drone, and this stuff always costs a lot of money. It takes time, you have to travel for like a week, and it's a lot of work, and we always drive instead of flying because there's so much equipment that we have to take with us. As you guys know, every time I travel, I have to disassemble my entire setup here, my camera, my lighting, all of that stuff comes with us because we use that to shoot our interviews. So it's always a process, basically. And as you know, we've been trying to crowdsource the documentary, and we have not really been successful with that, unfortunately. Like, I've put tons of my own money into this, my family has put thousands of dollars into this, and we have not even hit half of our fundraising goal. And on paper, it looks like it's a high goal, but it's really not for a film of this nature. If you look at like budgets for documentaries of this quality, it's way higher and they use way more people. They have, it requires like way more resources. We've actually been doing very good for doing this with such a small team and with such a tiny, tiny shoestring budget. But that has also hampered us because that is why it's taking so long. I don't have the resources I need to get this done faster. And so it has taken time. And again, we still aren't even halfway to our funding goal. And that has been very difficult, for me, because I really care about this film and this project, and I want it to get done as soon as possible. But it is what it is. To give you an idea of like what it takes to make a documentary like this, we have always been aiming for the highest quality possible, like what you would see in a documentary on a streaming service or network. So network streaming service quality is what we're aiming for. But again, we don't have the resources or the budget that most of these people have. So go watch a movie and just look at the end credits. Go watch a documentary, look at the end credits, look at how many people are named in the credits, and then understand that we have three people working on this, really. We have a fourth person who's kind of come on. We have a producer that's come on that has really helped me a lot and is kind of helping me try to figure out a way to fund the rest of what I need done, so that we can get this out. and we're hoping to get it picked up by a network or streaming service, as we are aiming for that quality. Because if I just put this out on my YouTube channel or on the documentary YouTube channel, nobody's going to see it, right? Hardly anyone is going to see it. It needs to have wide distribution, and it needs to be seen by as many people as possible. So that is our goal. I ask you guys to pray that we are successful, that that happens. I've been actually working on behind the scenes pitch materials to try to pitch it, to get it picked up by a network. And I'm hoping that I'm hoping we're gonna get some good news on that soon. But some of the things I have to do before that is to get these last interviews knocked out, to get this drone footage and B-roll footage that I need. So it's a lot of work. And if you guys want to help, if you want to help fund my travels, you can go to our website, kandkfilm.com. You'll see the new trailer up. We have that on the front page now, and there is a tab at the top to donate, and we have a Give Send Go fundraiser. You can click right here to donate, kandkfilm.com/donate. I will include a link to this in the video description. I know some of you, though, have reached out to me and told me you had problems trying to use Give Send Go to donate. There should be a way to donate anonymously via Give Send Go, but for people who were having issues with that, I have a P.O. box now, and you can donate by check or money order to the P.O. box. You just make it out to the letter K and K Film, exactly as I have it written here. P.O. Box 4057, Merrifield, Virginia, zip code 22116. So that is another donation option just for people who want to remain anonymous. And I get it. I know there were people who were worried about being put on a list or something because they donated to the film. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. You've got another option now. And so you won't see me or hear from me for probably another week while I'm for a week while I'm traveling, which will be in a week or so. So I still have a week before I leave. I'll try to get some videos up for you guys before I leave, or I'll at least try to record them so I can release them while I'm gone, so that you have something and you don't have to go 3 weeks without hearing from me, because God knows that would be terrible. What would you guys do without your Radix videos and, Christina's hot takes? It would be a dark world for everybody, as you know. But anyways, I'm actually very excited because there's a lot of good things happening. We have the FBI kind of being cleaned out. We got the pardoning of the J6ers, the pro-lifers. We are hoping that the Sixth Circuit gives a ruling this month on Adam and Barry's appeal. We hope they do the right thing and overturn those wrongful convictions, because that can then help the 3 state guys who cannot receive pardons. But if the Sixth Circuit does the wrong thing, we hope that the Trump administration will pardon Adam and Barry. I have no doubt that they would do that if they heard about it and knew about it. So we're trying to, keep the guys out there, keep their, names out there, the story out there, so people don't forget about what happened to them. They were targeted before the J6ers, and that's something to keep in mind. And of course, the cases are connected. We also have, we've learned now that I think about 5,000, this is what they're saying, 5,000 FBI agents were assigned to work on J6 cases. And, they were asking, the president and his administration was asking for the names of all of the people who worked on, the cases that targeted Trump and the J6ers. And the FBI doesn't want to produce that information, which I think is hilarious, because it's almost an admission of guilt. And Mark Zaid, the spook lawyer, the guy who represented Eric Charmella, and I think he may have represented Vindman as well, he has brought forward a lawsuit on behalf of 9 anonymous FBI officials protesting having their names released for working on these cases. And I think it's ridiculous because the FBI pretends to be a law enforcement agency, okay? They don't outright admit that they are the American KGB and the American Stasi. They pretend, and they have this veneer of being a legitimate, law enforcement agency and not an intelligence agency, by the way. They are not supposed to be an intelligence service, a domestic intelligence agency, which I would argue that they are. But I think that this lawsuit, in and of itself, is an admission that they know they did something wrong. They don't want to be publicly associated with the things that they themselves were doing. Well, that's not how it works. Newsflash, okay? When local law enforcement goes and raids somebody's home and makes an arrest, they don't get to remain anonymous. They have to wear badges with their name tag. They have to put their name in court documents. That's the real world, okay? The FBI doesn't just get to decide that they want to be anonymous. That's ridiculous. And I don't think their lawsuit is going to hold up in court. So I am very looking forward to what happens with that. Although these DC judges are activists, they are activists, and they have made clear that they have spent the past 4 years persecuting American citizens. And if it was 5,000 agents, look at what a percentage that is of the FBI overall. That is almost 50% of the FBI just dedicated to targeting American citizens who protested at one event because of a 4-hour disturbance. To dedicate and to spend years dedicating these resources to tracking these people down and persecuting them is insane to me. And the stories that I have heard about how they've done these raids with sometimes 20 or 30 people in SWAT gear, it's crazy. They brought literally a tank to one man's house. They have MRAPs. It's crazy what they've been doing. And there has never been, by the way, any accountability for what happened to Craig Robertson, the elderly man that was executed by the FBI in his front yard because of posts he made on social media. If you go to his social media, he had been making posts like that for 10 years. For 10 years. And he never did anything. This was like a disabled elderly man who walked with a cane. And there's been no explanation for why the FBI was able to literally delete this man in his front yard. It's crazy. So there needs to be accountability, and hopefully we're going to be getting that soon. I think now is the perfect time for this documentary to come out, and my hope is that we can have that out to you guys this summer, perhaps, and perhaps from a network or streaming service. And so, yes, that's the update for now. Wish me luck on my travels, and I'll talk to you next time. Whee!